Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for this week's edition of Sportswrap. My name is Saul, I'm sports editor of the Chronicle, and let's get right into the top stories from Duke Sports. Basketball is back here at Duke, and both the men's and women's teams started the season off Tuesday night in what were really eventful games for both teams. Duke men's basketball, ranked number 4 in the country, traveled up to New York City, Madison Square Garden, and toppled number 3 Kansas 68-66 in what was really a back and forth game. And even though it was pretty sloppy, there were 44 turnovers, including I believe 26 from Kansas. Duke ultimately did pull out the victory, and it really was thanks to Trey Jones and Cassius Stanley. Trey Jones, Duke's best player. He was a preseason All-ACC selection, and he was a great facilitator. He was able to create his own shot some and was hounding defensively. But Cassius Stanley, the freshman guard, who had a really poor first half and 4 turnovers, and he came alive in the second half. He had one series with back-to-back breakaway dunks, a big three-pointer, and the Blue Devils ultimately came out on top and big Champions Classic win in a game that I think most people did not expect them to win. The women's basketball team similarly got out on the right foot to start the season, opening the season Tuesday night with a 93-57 win against High Point. And even though it was non-conference win, it was expected, Duke was favored pretty heavily. The big story of the night was Kyra Lambert's triumphant return. The team announced early in the day that she would return after missing 2 consecutive seasons thanks to ACL injuries. And even though she didn't start, she checked in with a few moments left in the first quarter, and her first field goal was a 3/4 court heave. And at the end of the first quarter, buzzer beater, swish, the crowd went wild, and it really was a storybook moment and a really nice comeback story for someone that has really struggled to return to the court. Both the men's and women's basketball teams will be back in action this weekend. The men's basketball team will host Colorado State on Friday, and that'll be a nice change of pace for them. Obviously, Colorado State's unranked, and they'll be able to test out more rotations and not have to deal with Kansas. And when I was talking to Javin DeLauria after the game, he said that he was very excited for the physical break of not having to guard someone like 7 foot, 270 pound center for Kansas, Udoka Azubuike. And it'll be a nice test for Duke to kind of run the guys that are lower down the rotation and see what they have to give. Duke women's basketball will face its first big test of the season on Sunday when they head over to College Station, Texas to take on Texas A&M. And again, we saw a really balanced attack Tuesday night from the Blue Devils, but that was against an inferior opponent, and it'll be interesting to see how they step up to the competition. And Duke football has what would normally be its biggest matchup of the season, but they already played Alabama. So close second, you get Notre Dame, and the Fighting Irish will be coming to Durham this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and what will be a packed house. And obviously Notre Dame, undefeated regular season last year, they made it to the college football playoff, and even though it is a slight down season for them, it'll be really exciting to see a team like that come to Wallace Wade Stadium. Thank you very much for joining us. For Saul and the Duke Chronicle, have a great day.